What's up, guys? You're back with Steph and Dennis, just Den today. But today we're discussing why I switched from TD Bank, a Big 5 bank here in Canada, to Simplii Financial, an online bank. If you're a young person who doesn't have a lot of money and wants to save, this is the video for you. Please like and subscribe below, and let's get into it. Before I go into why you should switch or the pros and cons to Simplii, what I really want to talk about is the banking climate here, specifically in Canada. Really what this means is that gone are the days where people are so scared to talk about anything apart from the Big 5 banks that they won't entertain any other type of financial institution, which really blows my mind. One of the main points that I want to point out about the changing banking climate is the fact that we now have banks that are specifically just online and banks that give you that whole brick and mortar face where you can actually go and interact with a teller if you'd like to, or a financial services person. So one of the biggest differences is that online versus brick and mortar piece. So what a lot of people don't know is that online banks have actually been around for a while. So you have, for example, Simplii Financial, which used to be PC Financial, which was then bought by CIBC and is now under CIBC. And then you have banks like Tangerine, which used to be ING Direct, but then was bought out by Scotiabank and is now under Scotiabank. If you guys want us to do another video where we actually do a comparison of these other types of banks to really give you that full in-depth detail, then we can do that. Let us know in the comments below. So why did I switch in the first place? So basically I graduated and I had no money. So I had no money, and then TD decided to switch my student account into like a regular everyday account. And what happens when you switch your student account to an everyday account, you now have to pay for that account. So keep in mind, I had no money and I was now being charged $15 a month because there was a $4,000 minimum to actually have a free bank account with TD. Didn't have the $4,000. Another really big thing was e-transfers. So I know a lot of people our age, you're constantly doing things, your friend does something for you, you send them an e-transfer. They were charging me $1.50 per e-transfer. Keep in mind, just graduated, no money, right? That's huge. That is huge. So based on that alone, that was honestly those were honestly some of the biggest deciding factors to me wanting to switch and eventually switching. So what were my considerations? Number one, I looked at how often I actually needed to go to the bank. I didn't really have to go to the bank. Realistically, even by that time, TD had incorporated one of those new scan your check and it automatically gets deposited into your account. And that's pretty much the main reason why I ever needed to go to the bank in the first place. Number two, I looked at what my actual goals were financially. Did I really need a whole fleet of financial advisors, tellers, people who were going to advise me on my money? No, I didn't really need that. Personally, my background is in accounting and finance, but also I'm someone who's consistently researching my own stuff. So if I really do need any help, I can get it online or talk to people within, my industry or my profession. So didn't really need that. And this is funny. So my third point is on risk and protection. So a lot of people look at a lot of these online banks and they're like, whoa, hold on, how are they gonna protect my money? Is all my money gonna be gone if anything happens? No, at the end of the day, your bank account is CDIC insured, just like all the other banks. And guess what? The Big 5 banks own these online banks. So what that means is the fact that the Big 5 banks own these other banks, you pretty much have that same level of protection, right? So why did I choose Simplii out of all the other banks that I looked at? Number one, I could open a checking and savings account super easily and user-friendly without any cost whatsoever. Next, they offered free e-transfers. I know a lot of the Big 5 banks actually do offer this at this point in time, but at the time, the banks were charging anywhere from $1 to $1.50, which to me is ridiculous. Next, they gave you an unlimited number of checks. Honestly, that sounded amazing at the time for me just because I had recently graduated, recently got a new apartment, so I needed a whole bunch of checks, right? And a lot of checks are actually pretty expensive. And honestly, the setup is so easy. If you really want to call someone and get them on the phone, they're there, they're available, the call center is available. And I think a really big point is the access to CIBC's nationwide ATMs. So again, CIBC owns Simplii, so you literally have access to their whole fleet of ATMs and ABM machines. So essentially no change. If you want to take out cash, whatever you want to do, deposit cash, same exact thing you were doing before, which I think is a really big point, and it's a really It's a really big shift thought-wise for a lot of people, because I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, well, if I have to do everything online, like how am I gonna get cash? How am I gonna do this? For the most part, it's all there. So overall, to summarize the key differences between TD's unlimited checking account and Simplii's no-fee checking account, I think it's really important to compare apples to apples. So these are the two accounts that I was comparing when I wanted to switch. And what I really want to point out, and we'll have it on the screen, is you have monthly fees of $15.95 compared to an account that's free, right? You have a monthly minimum balance of $4,000. And like I said before, what that means is that in order for that $15 fee to be waived, you need to consistently have $4,000 at the end of every month in your checking account. And if you look at the transactions per month, we'll note that they both say unlimited, but I think it's important to point out that it's only unlimited if you have that $4,000 minimum within that TD checking account. Otherwise, you're paying transaction by transaction. And if we look at the high interest savings account, you'll note that for the first almost $5,000 at TD, they call it their high interest savings account, but I guess it's high interest for people who have over $5,000. So unfortunately not for a lot of broke students. And if you look at Simplii on the other hand, I know that they don't have the highest earning interest savings account. I think Tangerine actually has a higher one, and we can talk about that in another video, but you'll note that they still have an offer that they have right now where they're offering a bonus 2.8 up until April 2020. And once again, in terms of the protection of your money, up to $100,000, you have CDIC protection. Once again, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, please comment in the comment box below if you have any comments. And if you would like us to do more videos like this in the future, please let us know. We understand that Simplii might not be the best bank for you personally, and we'd like to give you a full, broader picture. Simplii worked out for me, so let's get it.